I plunged the carving knife into the turkey's breast, but it was Mom's words that sliced me open first. "Isabella, honey, pass the gravy. Oh, and while we're confessing sins at this godforsaken table, you're not even my blood." The room froze like a bad reboot of some twisted Norman Rockwell painting, forks hovering midair, and in that electric silence, I didn't scream. I smiled, the kind of smile that says I've got your number now. You lying bitch. That was the night everything cracked wide open. 25 years of prefabricated family bullshit spilling out like cheap wine on white linen. We'd gathered in our cookie-cutter colonial in Oak Park, Illinois, suburban purgatory, where the lawns are greener than your neighbor's envy and secrets fester like untreated wounds. Dad at the head, nursing his third scotch, his tie loosened like his grip on reality. My sister, Claire, 27 and already climbing the corporate ladder at some soul-sucking Chicago ad firm, smirking like she knew the punchline before the joke. And Mom, Evelyn, the queen of passive-aggressive potlucks, her pearls clutched tighter than her composure. It was supposed to be Thanksgiving, a hollow ritual to pretend we were the Huxtables or some other TV lie. But lies have half-lives, and mine was detonating right there over the mashed potatoes. I'd always felt like the odd sock in the drawer. Too dark-haired in a family of blondes, too mouthy in a house of whispers. As a kid, I'd chalk it up to being the baby, the afterthought after Claire, the golden child who could do no wrong. But that night, as the cranberry sauce congealed untouched, Mom's confession wasn't a slip, it was a grenade. "I was going to take it to my grave," she said, her voice cracking like thin ice, eyes darting to Dad for backup he wouldn't give. "But after what you did last month, Isabella, stealing from the business? I can't protect you anymore. You're not mine to protect." Stealing? That hit like a sucker punch. Last month, the audit at Dad's auto part shop, where I'd slaved as bookkeeper since college, uncovered a $50,000 hole. Fingers pointed at me, the unreliable one, the dropout who partied too hard at Northwestern before flaming out. I took the hit, confessed to a judge in a plea deal that branded me a felon, all because Dad begged me to, tears in his eyes, saying it was to save the family name. "Claire's future depends on this," he'd whispered in the station house, his hand on my shoulder like a lead weight. I'd done 18 months probation, lost my apartment, crawled back to the basement like a whipped dog. And now this? Not her daughter? The betrayal burned hotter than the shame. Claire leaned forward, her Botox-smooth forehead creasing just enough to feign concern. "Izzy, we love you anyway. But secrets. They eat you alive." Her words dripped sympathy, but her eyes? Pure calculation, like a shark scenting chum. I knew that look. I'd seen it when she borrowed my college fund for her startup that never started, or when she pinned the dog's death on me after she forgot to medicate it during one of her benders. Claire, the chameleon, sweet sorority girl 1 minute, cutthroat exec the next. If Mom was the architect of this facade, Claire was the demolition crew. I pushed back from the table, chairs scraping like nails on a chalkboard. "Protect me? From what, Evelyn?" "The truth you buried deeper than Grandpa's war medals." Dad cleared his throat, a gravelly rumble that usually shut us down, but tonight it was impotent. "Bella, not now." "Not now?" 25 years too late for that. I stormed out, the screen door slamming behind me like a guillotine. The November chill bit into my thin sweater, Oak Park's manicured streets mocking me with their holiday lights twinkling like false promises. I drove aimlessly, ending up at the lakefront, Lake Michigan's waves crashing like my pulse. That's when the rage crystallized, not blind fury, but the cold, meticulous kind that plots in shadows. By dawn, I'd Google my way to a truth that made Mom's bombshell look like a firecracker. Birth records, sealed adoptions, a PI's forum tip, $500 and a shady contact later, I had a manila envelope thicker than my probation file. Hospital mix-up? No. Worse. I wasn't adopted. I was a cover-up. Mom, Evelyn, hadn't just hidden my origins. She'd orchestrated them. Dad's affair in '98, a one-night stand with his secretary, resulted in me. But the secretary? She OD'd months later, pills and despair, leaving infant me as collateral. To avoid scandal, Dad's mayoral run, Claire's perfect childhood, they claimed me as theirs, faked the papers, buried the body of evidence.
Literally.
The secretary's death? Ruled suicide, but whispers of foul play. A push down the stairs accident. And me? The living alibi, the scapegoat from birth. But the real gut punch, the money I'd stolen? Claire's doing. She'd siphoned it for her coke habit, the one she hid behind yoga retreats and power lunches. Dad knew. Hell, he'd covered for her before, busting her for shoplifting as a teen, pinning it on the gardener. I'd taken the fall because I was expendable, the not real one. They weren't protecting the family. They were protecting Claire, the heir apparent, the blood that ran true and toxic. I sat in my beat-up Civic, engine idling, staring at the envelope's yellowed clippings. Revenge wasn't a word. It was a roadmap. Not the cartoon kind, no Molotovs or midnight arsons. American revenge, slow, legal, devastating. I'd start with the business, leverage my insider knowledge to expose the rot. Then Claire, unravel her silk stocking world thread by thread. And Mom? I'd make her watch it all crumble, her perfect facade reduced to ash. But as the sun crested the lake, doubt wormed in. Was I the monster here, or just the mirror they feared? No time for philosophy.
The war was on.
The first move was surgical, the kind of precision that comes from years of resentment sharpening your edges. By Monday, I was back at the shop. Harper Auto Parts, Dad's legacy since the 70s. A squat brick bunker off I-294 humming with the scent of oil and desperation. I clocked in like nothing happened, ledger in hand, but my eyes weren't on the books. They were on the skeletons in the closets. Claire breezed in at noon, her Lululemon armor pristine, flashing that sorority smile to the grease monkeys who ogled her like she was the prize pig at the fair. Izzy, you're back. We missed you. Missed the fall guy, more like. I nodded, forcing a grin that didn't reach my eyes. Wouldn't miss the family business for the world. We both knew it was bullshit, but the dance was on. That afternoon, I accidentally emailed the IRS a tip, anonymous, of course, flagging discrepancies in the payroll taxes. Nothing big, just enough to trigger an audit that would peel back layers like an onion. Dad's slush fund for Claire's campaign contributions, code for bribing inspectors, Mom's under-the-table cash from bake sales funneled into offshore accounts to hide the affair's alimony ghosts. I'd pieced it together during my basement exile, boredom turning to obsession. Claire cornered me in the break room, styrofoam coffee cups steaming like our tempers. What the hell was that at dinner? Mom's unhinged. Unhinged? Try unraveling. I sipped my sludge, buying time. You knew, didn't you? About me. Her laugh was a tinkling bell, the kind that masks a tripwire. Knew what? That you're a drama queen? Izzy, we've all got baggage. Remember when you wrecked Dad's Cadillac senior year? We covered. Covered, sure. Like they covered the secretary's death certificate, fudged to accidental fall after Mom confronted her. The PI's report hinted at bruises, a struggle. Evelyn's jealousy boiling over into something irreversible. I'd borne the weight of that secret without knowing it, my troubled childhood a projection of their guilt. I need the truth, Claire. All of it. She leaned in, breath minty with malice. Truth's overrated. Stick to what you know, playing the victim. Then she flipped, eyes softening like melted butter. Look, let's grab drinks after. Sisters, right?
Sisters.
The word twisted in my gut. That night at the dive bar off Harlem Avenue, neon signs buzzing like angry hornets, we got sloshed on rail gin. Claire spilled, not all, but enough. The affair, the OD, her word for murderlight, how I'd been rescued to keep the Harper name spotless. Mom did it for us, she slurred, clinking glasses. For Dad's run. You're lucky we wanted you.
Lucky.
I toasted to that, plotting her downfall between shots. By week's end, the IRS van was parked outside the shop, agents in cheap suits rifling files like grave robbers. Dad called me into his office, face redder than a rusted fender. What did you do, Bella? His voice was a wheeze, emphysema catching up. I met his gaze, steady as Lake Michigan in a squall. Me? I just balanced the books. Your way was creative accounting, mine's called justice. He slumped, the fighter deflating.
Claire.
She can't take the heat. Not like you. Not like the disposable one. That's when I dropped the bomb. I know about Elena Vasquez, the secretary. Her family's filing a wrongful death suit next month. I tipped them off. His eyes bulged, Scotch veins popping. You wouldn't, but I would. Elena's sister, a paralegal in Pilsen, had answered my burner phone call with quiet fire. We've waited 25 years for this. The suit wasn't just civil, it was a crowbar to the coffin lid, exhuming Mom's accident as premeditated push. Dad begged, offered me the shop, a cut of everything. Family, Bella. We're all we've got. Family. The words soured on my tongue. I walked out, leaving him to the auditors, his empire cracking like old asphalt. Mom called that night, voice a tremolo of tears. Come home, Isabella. We can fix this.
Fix?
Like they fixed me into their lie? I drove to the old house instead, letting myself in with the spare key, irony's little gift. Her jewelry box sat on the vanity, pearls mocking me. I pocketed a necklace, not for value, but symbolism. The noose she'd worn to choke the truth. Upstairs, Claire's room was a shrine to ambition. Framed degrees, power suits starched to stiffness. I rifled drawers, finding the burner phone, text to dealers in code. Need product for stress relief. Double batch. Jackpot. I snapped photos, uploaded to a cloud only I could access. Revenge wasn't destruction, it was exposure, forcing them to wear their filth in the light. But as I slipped out, headlights swept the driveway. Claire, home early from her networking event. She caught me in the foyer, keys jingling like chains. What are you doing here? Panic edged her voice, the chameleon shedding skin. I held up the pearls, dangling like bait. Shopping. You? She lunged, not with fists but words. You're ruining everything. Mom killed for this family, for me.
Killed.
Out loud, finally. I backed her against the wall, our breaths sinking in rage. And I died for it, Claire. Every lie, every fall. Your turn. She crumpled, sobbing, real tears this time, whispering, help me. I can't lose it all. The flip again, predator to prey. Part of me softened, the kid who shared secrets under blankets. But the rest?
Ice.
I left her there, broken on Persian rugs, and drove into the night. The city lights blurred, Chicago's skyline a jagged promise. 2 down, 1 to go. Mom would be the finale, but first I needed allies. Elena's sister, Rosa, met me at a taqueria in Little Village, her eyes hard as obsidian. You look like her, she said over Pozole, Elena's ghost in my features. We plotted. The suit, timed with the audit, a 1-2 punch to the Harper's facade. They took my sister, Rosa said. We'll take their world. Justice or vengeance. The line blurred, but in America's underbelly, it always does. Winter clamped down on Chicago like a vice, snow piling up outside the shop like unpaid debts. The audit dragged into December, agents burrowing deeper, unearthing not just tax fraud but kickbacks from suppliers, dads, gentlemen's agreements that greased more than palms. He shuddered early most days, sign flipped to closed, his reflection in the plate glass a ghost of the man who taught me to change oil at 10. I worked graveyard shifts now, alone with the hum of fluorescence and the ghosts of what-ifs. Claire vanished into radio silence, her LinkedIn frozen mid-promotion, whispers of rehab or runaway rippling through the grapevine. She played martyr, hosting pity dinners for concerned neighbors, her smile a rictus as brittle as gingerbread. I escalated quietly, methodically. The burner texts? Leaked to her board via anonymous email, executive misconduct, review attachments. Claire's firm, a glass tower in the loop, suspended her pending investigation, her Instagram going dark overnight. She showed up at the shop one blizzard night, mascara rivers on her cheeks, Burberry coat shedding snow like excuses. Izzy, please. It's falling apart. We huddled in the office, heater rattling like bad lungs. She confessed everything. The embezzlement, a 6-month spiral after a merger gone south, coke as her crutch. I didn't mean for you to take the fall. Dad said it'd blow over. Blow over. Like Elena's life, pushed aside for convenience. Her vulnerability cracked me, just a hair. Why me, Claire? Why always the patsy? She wiped her nose, raw from more than crying. Because you're strong. The real fighter.
Mom always said you got that from
her. Elena, the woman I'd never known, whose fire burned in my veins. Claire reached for my hand, sisterly again. We can run it together. Fix the books, pay it back. Family sticks. The word again, a siren call. For a heartbeat I saw it. Us against them, rewriting the script. But then I remembered the basement, the judge's gavel, the nights staring at water stains like Rorschach tests of betrayal. I pulled away. Family? You murdered that the night you let me rot. She recoiled, eyes flashing. Murdered? Like Mom with Elena? Pot, kettle, Izzy.
Touché.
We circled each other, words as weapons, until she bolted into the storm, leaving boot prints in the slush. That clash lit the fuse for Phase 2, the press. I fed a tip to the Sun-Times, a cub reporter hungry for scandal. Suburban dynasty crumbles, affair, fraud, and a forgotten death. It hit front page Christmas Eve, photos of our house strung with lights like ironic tinsel. Dad's mayoral dreams?
Torched.
Neighbors who'd waved now whispered, crossing streets to avoid Evelyn's pleading gaze. Mom summoned me to the house New Year's Eve, the dining room stripped bare, no turkey, no lies, just a bottle of Merlot and her withered frame. Sit, she commanded, voice steel under the tremor. I did, perching like a crow on the edge. You think you're avenging something? You're destroying us.
Us.
Always us, never me. I poured, swirling the blood-red vintage. Tell me about Elena. All of it. Her lips thinned, pearls twisting like rosary beads. The story poured out in fits. The affair, the pregnancy, the confrontation at Elena's walk-up. She threatened to tell. I lost control. A shove, the stairs. She hit her head. I called it in as a fall. Suicide my ass, manslaughter at best, murder at worst. And me? I pressed, heart hammering. You left me there, a prop in your play. Tears tractor rouge. We loved you, raised you better than she could, a junkie's kid. Junkie? Elena's obit said paralegal, community organizer. Lies on lies. But Mom flipped, rage igniting. You are nothing without us. No name, no home. I gave you that. Gratitude? For a cage gilded with deceit? I laughed, bitter as the wine. You gave me chains. And Claire? You let her poison everything, then hung it on me. She slammed the table, glass shattering. Claire's my blood.
Your.
A mistake we fixed. Mistake. The word ignited something primal. I stood, chair toppling. Fixed? Like hiding a body? Enjoy the unraveling, Evelyn. Outside, fireworks popped over the suburbs, false stars mocking the void. Rosa called as I drove, voice electric. The DA's reopening Elena's case. Your tip sealed it. Bruises matched the autopsy photos. Victory tasted like ash. Claire texted then, a Hail Mary. Found Mom's pills. She's spiraling. Help. Pills. The family vice, passed like heirlooms. I ignored it, but doubt gnawed. Was this justice, or just trading one grave for another? America's great at reinvention, but some stains don't wash out. January thawed into mud, the shop teetering on bankruptcy. Dad suffered a mild stroke, hospitalized in Methodist, monitors beeping like accusatory fingers. I visited, sterile halls echoing my footsteps. He looked small in the bed, for dripping mercy he didn't deserve. Bella, he rasped, end this. For your mother. Mother. The lie stuck in his throat. I squeezed his hand, the first touch in months. Tell Claire to turn herself in. The embezzlement.
Clean slate.
He nodded weakly, but his eyes? Scheming even now. Later, a nurse slipped me his phone, Claire's number, texts plotting to flee to Mexico, Dad's contacts greasing the border. Betrayal's echo. I confronted her at the hospital cafeteria, fluorescent hell under meatloaf steam. Running? Classy. She stirred her jello, defiant. Survival. You taught me that. We argued in hisses, drawing stares from blue hairs. You're no better than Mom, pushing problems downstairs. Her face crumpled. Maybe not. But if I go down, I'm taking the Harper name with me. Dad's bribes? I have records. Blackmail, sibling style. The chameleon struck again, ally to adversary. I left her there, plotting my counter. Go public with it all, force a plea that drags them under. But as I exited into gray drizzle, a twist hit via Rosa. Elena's diary, unearthed from storage. Pages chronicling love for me, unborn dreams, and a plea to Evelyn. Let me keep her. We can co-parent. Mom hadn't just killed, she'd stolen a life whole. Rage renewed, but laced with grief, for the mother I lost before birth, for the sister I might have had. The line between avenger and victim blurred further. Chicago's wind howled, carrying whispers of fallout. The climax loomed, and no one, not me, not them, would emerge clean. February's freeze mirrored the chill in my veins as the pieces converged like storm fronts over the lake. The DA's office buzzed with renewed vigor, Elena's case file dusted off, witnesses from 98 crawling out of woodwork, neighbors who'd heard shouts, a super who'd mopped up blood before cops arrived. Rosa and I met in her Pilsen office, case files stacked like Jenga, her paralegal hustle a far cry from Harper polish. Manslaughter sticks, she said, circling dates. But fraud ties it, motive to silence Elena before the affair blew the business.
Motive.
Mom's jealousy, Dad's ambition, Claire's inheritance, all funneled through my unwitting infancy. Claire's threat hung heavy, her records a nuclear option. I tailed her one sleet-slick night, her Audi weaving from a loop bar to a storage unit in Cicero, Rust Belt relic, padlocks gleaming under sodium lights. She emerged with a duffel, face pale as the snowbanks, glancing over her shoulder like a fugitive in a Scorsese flick. I followed to a no-tell-motel off the Eisenhower, heart pounding as she checked in under Jane Smith. Amateur. I waited till dawn, slipping the clerk a 20 for the master key. Room 12. Claire, passed out amid takeout cartons, laptop open to flight confirmations, Mexico City, one way. I nudged her awake with my boot, the duffel unzipped at my feet, flash drives, ledgers, printouts of Dad's bribes to city council for zoning favors. Going somewhere? She bolted upright, eyes wild. Izzy. Christ, you scared me. Scared? Try terrified. We faced off in that threadbare room, beds sagging like our bond. Turn it over, I said, nodding at the bag. Plea deal. Or I mail copies to every outlet from here to LA. She laughed, manic. And drag Elena's ghost through the mud? Mom's diaries are in there too. Details that make you complicit. You grew up on blood money. Complicit. The word landed like a gut shot. Every Christmas ham, every college loan, tainted. She flipped again, collapsing onto the bed, sobs racking. I can't jail, Izzy. Not with my record. Record? Her clean slate, bought with my stains. But pity flickered. Claire, the big sister who'd braided my hair, covered for my first smoke. Then fight fair. Testify against them. Mom's push, Dad's cover. She wiped her eyes, calculating. And you? Walk away clean?
Clean.
As if. I get Elena's justice. That's enough. We struck a brittle truce. She'd lawyer up, flip for immunity. I left with the bribes, her promise a fragile thread. Dad's stroke lingered, rehab in a North Side facility where hope smelled of antiseptic. I visited weekly, our talk's a minefield. Claire says you're helping, he wheezed one gray afternoon, physical therapist hovering.
Helping.
The euphemism of enablers. Tying loose ends. He gripped my arm, frail but fierce. Don't destroy your mother. She did it for love.
Love.
Twisted as barbed wire. I leaned in. Love doesn't bury bodies, Dad. Or frame kids. His confession trickled. He'd known about the push, helped stage the scene. For the family. Always the family. I recorded it on my phone, hidden in my pocket, his voice a damning whisper. Mom's summons came via certified letter. Deposition scheduled. DA's office downtown. She wanted me there. Moral support. I went, suited up in thrift store armor. The loop's canyons echoing my steps. The room was a box of fluorescent dread, lawyers circling like vultures. Evelyn entered, diminished, hair graying at roots, pearls absent. Our eyes met, hers pleading, mine steel. Isabella. One word, laced with ownership. The questioning began. Affair details, the night, the fall. She stonewalled, invoking counsel, but I was the wild card, called as character witness. Miss Harper, the ADA pressed. Did your mother ever discuss Elena Vasquez? I paused, the room holding breath. She said Elena was a mistake. But mistakes have names. And daughters. Chaos erupted. Objections flying. Mom's face ashen. Outside, in the hall's marble chill, she grabbed my wrist, nails digging. You bitch. After everything? Everything. The birthdays, the band-aids, the bedtime lies. You stole my life first, I hissed. Elena's.
Mine.
She released me, slumping against the wall. I was young.
Scared.
Your father. The lie again. Own it, Evelyn. Or Claire's testimony will. Her eyes widened. Claire had lawyered up that morning, delinked. The flip, daughter to state's evidence. The press frenzy hit like a nor'easter, headlines screaming, Harper heir testifies, Mom's deadly secret. Dad's rehab went south, another stroke felling him for good. Massive. Lights out in ICU. We gathered at Swedish Covenant, machines silent, his body a shell under starched sheets. Claire arrived, hollow-eyed, whispering, I did it for us.
Us.
Mom wailed, collapsing into a nurse's arms, her facade shattered. I stood apart, the envelope of Elena's diary in my coat, Rose's gift, pages of love letters to an unborn me. Grief hit then, raw as road rash. For Dad, flawed colossus. For Claire, mirror of my worst. For Mom, monster born of fear. Funeral was a circus. Politicos paying respects, reporters lurking like hyenas. Eulogy fell to me, words hollow. He built something from nothing. But foundations crack. Whispers rippled, scandals aftershocks. Afterward, at the wake in our old house, Claire pulled me aside, breath boozy. We won, right? Justice. Won. The word tasted Pyrrhic. Elena's. But as guests milled, Mom approached, glass in hand, eyes clear for the first time. I named you Isabella after her mother. Strength. Strength. A olive branch or ploy. She hugged me, stiff as boards, whispering, Forgive. The room spun, choices fracturing. I pulled back, the diary burning in my pocket. Not yet. Outside, spring teased, crocuses pushing through frost, life's stubborn insistence. The revenge crested, but the wave hadn't broken. One more twist, and the shore would decide. Redemption or ruin. April bloomed bloody in Chicago, dogwoods staining sidewalks like accusations as the trials converged. Mom's manslaughter hearing packed the Daily Center, a theater of the damned, spectators craning for glimpses of the soccer mom murderer. She pled out to involuntary, 5 years suspended on good behavior, her pearls pawned for legal fees. Claire's fraud case? Community service and restitution, her testimony the key that unlocked leniency. Dad's estate? Auctioned off, the shop a memory. Our colonial looming empty on Zillow like a haunted listing. I crashed with Rosa in Pilsen. Her spare room a sanctuary of saints' icons and case law, Elena's diary my bedtime reading, pages of dreams I'd inherited, jagged edges smoothed by time. Vengeance's afterglow faded fast, leaving hollows. I job hunted, Entry-level gigs in accounting irony. My record a scarlet letter. Claire reached out via email, contrite pixels. Rebuild with me? Half the settlement from the suit. Suit? Elena's family won civil, $2 million against the estate, split 3 ways. Rosa took her cut for justice. I banked mine. Anonymous donor to women's shelters. Elena's ghost guiding the wire. No, I typed back. Build your own. But doubt lingered. Had I avenged or amputated my roots? The twist came on a muggy May Eve. Rosa's call shattering glass. Check the news. Your DNA.
My what?
Tribune alert. Cold case breakthrough. 98 hospital hack. Records tampered, but ancestry sites cracked it. I wasn't just Elena's daughter. I was Claire's half-sister, true blood. Elena's affair not with Dad, but his brother, Uncle Ray, the confirmed bachelor who'd vanished post-scandal, fleeing to California with hush money. Mom's push? Not jealousy over Dad, but over Ray, her high school sweetheart, stolen by Elena's fire. The secretary wasn't the mistress. She was the rival who'd won the heart Mom coveted. Reeling, I drove to the old house, now foreclosed husk, key still fitting the rusted lock. Inside, dust motes danced in slant light, ghosts thick as humidity. Claire waited on the stairs, gaunt in jeans and hoodie, a far cry from power suits. I knew, she confessed, voice small. DNA test last year, when things got bad. Thought it'd bond us.
Bond.
Instead, she'd used it, letting me take falls to protect the pure Harper line. Ironic, since we shared veins. Why not tell? I demanded, fists clenched. She shrugged, defeated.
Fear.
Mom's lies were our glue. Upstairs, Mom's room, Evelyn, paroled early for remorse, sat vigil, frail in a rocker, eyes milky with meds. Isabella. The name, once weapon, now plea. She extended a letter, yellowed. Ray's, confessing love for Elena, regret for fleeing. I kept it to hurt her, but it broke us all.
Us.
The circle closed. I read, tears blurring ink. Uncle Ray, alive in a Ventura trailer, cancer-riddled, seeking me. Your father, Evelyn whispered. Biologically. The room tilted, betrayals inverting. Mom hadn't killed for Dad's ambition. She'd killed for a love lost decades prior, dooming us to her echo.
Claire?
She'd known, shielded the secret to preserve her perch, but in the end, flipped to save her skin. Our skin.
Me?
I'd ravaged them, but unearthed a lineage of fire. Elena's strength, Ray's wanderlust. No heroes, no villains, just survivors clawing from the same grave. I burned the letter in the sink, flames licking like absolution. We start over, I said to both.
No Harpers.
Just us. Claire nodded, tentative. Mom wept, released. Outside, lightning cracked, rain sheeting the windows, cleansing or drowning. We drove to the lakefront, the 3 of us in my Civic, waves roaring approval or warning. Ray's number burned in my phone. I'd call or not. Justice? A debate for talk radio. Was Mom's shove self-defense in love's war or cold murder? Claire's silence complicity or cowardice? My revenge catharsis or cruelty? As the sun dipped, gilding the horizon, I felt the weight lift. Not gone, but shared. America, land of second acts, whispered reinvention. We'd rebuild, flawed and fractured, in the shadow of truths carved deep. Or we drown trying. The choice?
Ours.
And in that ambiguity, the real hook, who wins when everyone's scarred?